everybody. How you going? I'm the post-Pete Cooper talk. So everyone had enough coffee today? Yep. Enough Wi-Fi? Seen enough startups? Learned a lot of things? I've seen some amazing pictures, heard some amazing talks. Very, very exciting. Glad to be here. And I'm going to talk about going global and being focused. Two things I care deeply about. And I'm pressing plus. And I'm pressing plus. Hello, there we go. Yeah, I'm a geek from way back, lots of stuff in startups. I love technology, been around technology for a very, very, very long time. And I do love Australia, I love it very much. So when you combine the two, tech and Australia, that's like exponential love for me. I love it a lot, love it. But very frustrated. I'm just a little bit frustrated, just a little bit cranky, a little bit fed up. And what I'm fed up about is the fact that we do have a big country, almost as big as the US, almost as big as China, but it's a tiny market, minuscule, little tiny market. It's actually a medium market, which I'll explain in a second. China, 1.3 billion people, USA, 320 million, Australia, 23 million people. Big country, tiny market. Shanghai's got more people, that's one city. New York, almost as big as Australia, or collectively. That sucks for us. Suck it up. Get on with the job. But what the cause of this is I see far too many small pitchers, far too many entrepreneurs lacking ambition, perspectives, ambition down like this, and I want to raise them up a little bit higher. No more .com.aus. Please do not apply to muru-D with a .com.au. I want to see .coms. Because there's just too many companies that die in the trough of sorrow because they've got maybe local traction, but maybe they'll go global one day. Too many companies. I want you to go global day one. I've had enough. So my goal today is I want 10 companies here at SydStart to go global right now, to go global before 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll explain more about that later. I want to see actual results. I hate people talking excitedly, but nothing actually happens. So that's my goal for today. Why global? If you're in the USA or China, you can stay home and access a huge market. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just be where you are, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots of customers. Maybe then later you'll go global, even though today that's more competitive. If you're in New Zealand, Singapore, or Israel, you're so tiny that you have to go global day one. The Kiwis, ignoring the Wallabies winning on the weekend, the Kiwis are kicking our ass because they absolutely are born global, more likely to be born global than Australians. With this medium-sized market, right? We've got this big geography, but a small market. The other advantage of going global is your niches are huge. If you end up only ever dominating a niche, who cares? Globally, those niches are still massive, still really, really worth doing. Plus, there's a lot more early adopters globally. Australia's got a good bunch of early adopters, a whole lot of them in the room right now, but globally, there's going to be a lot more early adopters, more likely to try and work with your new products. If you get a happy customer in Sydney, your business is worth 2% of the global potential of that business, no more. Don't say, yeah, but one day maybe we'll go global. Doesn't count. No one's going to count that, unfortunately. It means next to nothing. It's local proof only. And here's what an international investor hears when you say, I've got a traction in Sydney or traction in Australia. It sounds like, I've got a lot of great traction in Fiji. I'm raising $5 million. You want to invest in my business? Heaps of customers in Fiji right now. And we might laugh about that, but that's what an international customer hears because they know Australia is a small market. They absolutely know it's a small market, so we've got to do better than that. Local investors, there are some local investors who have local experience and local value to add, and they're very happy with you being local, but they're never going to take you global, and they're definitely not going to give you an international valuation. There are other local investors like me who are sick of seeing entrepreneurs think they're just going to stay in Australia for 10 years. Maybe they've got Sydney and one day they'll go to Melbourne, so that they may be thinking as well that you've got this local ambition. So we're going to raise that ambition higher and higher. And absolutely, you cannot be asking for a Silicon Valley. You can't read TechCrunch and go, yeah, but these other companies, like, Uber's raising at a high valuation, why can't I? If you have local proof, you can't get a global valuation. Absolutely the case. If you've got global customers and local investors are saying, no, you're valuing it at $2 million, you can go, well, I'm just going to go overseas. It's a really good answer to have when you've got international customers. So let's do a quick case study. Say you say, I want to raise $1 million. Nah, that's a bad idea. Never pick a round number like that, okay? It sounds like you just made it up. So let's say you want to raise $1.2 million applying my principle. An investor looks at that and goes, 12 weeks of due diligence, 50 grand in fees, which is about 4% of the total money. I can only invest in 4 companies, otherwise my dance card is full. Sounds like a bit of hard work for not very much money. What I want to give you as an investor is $5 million. That's plenty of money to pay all the lawyers, and that's going to move the needle for me as an investment. Matt talked about that previously this morning. That will absolutely move the needle as an investment. So let's run through the maths on that. I invest $5 million for 20% of your company, but I'm going to assume that's going to dilute down to 5%. I want a 10x return on that $5 million, so I want $50 million back. So you have to give me there has to be a $1 billion exit for me to get my $50 million back. So mathematically, very difficult to achieve that in Australia. A number of companies have, but if you want to try to be the next Seek, car sales, realestate.com.au, that's going to be tough business. Go global. You must go global. But importantly, the second part I want to talk about, it doesn't mean be global. There's a big temptation for entrepreneurs to say, well, Mick, I've got the .com, so obviously I'll just put it up on the web and I'll see what comes back. If I put the funnel as wide as I possibly can, that's going to be the best way to see what happens. It's not going to work. You don't get all of the customers in the world at once. You still have to be focused. So I want you to go global and to be focused. So my real goal today is actually 10 companies to go global and be focused. Okay? That's my goal for today. 10 companies. Conflicting? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, suck it up. It's part of being an entrepreneur, lots and lots of contradictions. So what we want to do is we want to start by making one customer in a big market, in one location, happy with one product, and then grow it. It was great to see Cyan this morning from Envato talk about the testing that she did on a brand new business. Now, she's got customers, she's got a team, and she's got resources, but still, she was ridiculously focused in what she did. She didn't have to do the global stuff because she's already got that box ticked, but she actually did this. She tested one customer, one product, one location, till she got it right, and then she went to grow. Peter Thiel wrote a book just to show how much he believes in what I'm saying, called 0 to 1. I encourage you to read it, a very good book. And he says startups should aim to create a monopoly, but the smallest monopoly first, and then grow. Start with the smallest monopoly first, smallest, not medium size, not huge, and you've got to be going towards a bigger market, but you've got to start with the smallest monopoly first. That's what we want to look at. And the reason why I want you to do that is because the juggle's hard. If you're starting a brand new business, 99% of what you need to know to run that business effectively, you don't know yet, and you can't know until you do that test. Again, Cyan said it again. You have to do small, fast tests to learn, and learn and learn and learn. And that's the fastest way to get to a working business. So, how do you focus? Hate talks that rah around and don't actually tell you anything practical to do. Here's 2 ways that you can be more focused. The first one is pick a small starting customer segment. A small focused customer segment. Now, if these are your possible customer segments out here, and that's the pain or the need they have, there's a curve, right? There's some people down here you couldn't even pay to use your product, and there are people over here who will walk across broken glass to get to your product. They really, really want it. But still, I see entrepreneurs going, well, I'll just put up the .com and it's for everybody. I want a big market, I'm really ambitious, so I'll make it for everybody. So they make a product for everybody, and guess who they end up pleasing? Nobody. Mile wide and an inch deep. This is where the most pain is. Start there. Certainly logically, if they don't like it, then they're not going to like it, right? So start with the people who are going to need it the most. And I say, rough rule of thumb, again, Peter Thiel nicely wrote a book to affirm my beliefs, 10x value gap. You're not looking to be just 10% better, you're going to be 10 times better than the alternative, 10 times solving a problem of 10 times value creation. Significant value creation we're looking for. Start with that small group. Hey, using Facebook as an example, but it's actually a really, really good one. So Facebook, with no customers, no product, no money, no business model, beat Friendster, which had a bucket load of money in the bank, like 8 million users and about 14 different features. How did that happen? They started later. How did that happen? Aggressive focus. Not just hoping to focus, not just saying, yes, our target market is sort of a bit like this in this area. They were aggressively focused. They actually engineered focus. They actually enforced focus. And here's how they did it. Initially, it was for only Harvard University students. It wasn't like we'd quite like them. You could only join with a Harvard University email address. And this is even saying, oh, we've actually opened up to the rest of Harvard. So he even started with a subsection of Harvard and then branched out to the enormous network of Harvard. Then he went out to the other universities. But it was still limited to your own college or university. It wasn't even connected. You couldn't connect everybody only within your own university. For me, someone in the industry, it was like 2 years before I could even register. I was looking at other people's screenshots. They enforced focus, and that's how they built a big company that had more money than them and more customers. Whereas Friendster was for absolutely everybody. And their view was, the funnel is so wide, we're for everybody. Surely this is the best thing to do, anyone can join. That actually hurt them. That's actually why Facebook won, because they were constricted, especially marketplace businesses where you need critical mass. Goes back to the monopoly question. Critical mass of a small network is much, much smaller, rather than a Friendster, even with 8 million users, did not have critical mass around the world. Love that as a case study. Nail one segment and grow. Here's what investors want to hear. I have one segment that loves me, and there are 1,000 more segments out there. That's what they love to hear. I've got this tiny little segment here. I've got a 50% market share. They use it every single day. They pay me buckets of money with good margin, and there are another 1,000 other segments we can go and get. An investor would love to do that, love to invest in that. And certainly what they don't want to hear is, I have one customer in 1,000 segments. Can you invest some money and we'll go and win them all? You haven't proven that you're actually able to win a market, able to do anything. So what we want to do again is focus on a small customer segment and win them. So what happens if the first segment hates me? This is what a common question I get. What happens if the first segment hates you? Suck it up. Move to the next tiny segment. It's the beauty of having a small segment and a fast test is you haven't lost anything. You start with one of the tiny out of 1,000 segments, and they hate your guts because you suck, because you probably will, because it's your first version. You just move to the next one. I tell you, that's a lot better than building a product over 2 years and doing Super Bowl ads and having the whole world hate your guts. Okay, that feels a lot better, I can absolutely tell you. Been through that a few times. The second thing you can do to be focused is have a much smaller product. I've never failed to work with a tech company and being able to reduce the size of their product, cut out features or reduce the volume that those features are actually promoted to their customers. Features are not the answer. Even if customers are whinging about it, more features are not the answer. This is one of my favorite examples. Big thanks to Steve Finale for sharing this through, of how to build a minimal viable product. If your vision is to build a car, a minimal viable product is not a wheel, because it's useless, right? It doesn't take you anywhere, or maybe really slowly and painfully, but it doesn't take you anywhere. And then, oh yeah, version 2's got 2 wheels, and then we've got the chassis, and then we've got a car. Everyone's happy. No one is happy all the way through the process. That's bad. That's a bad way to build it. Great example, skateboard. Do you have air conditioning and park assist and videos and radio? No, you don't, but you can get somewhere. Then you've got a scooter, which at least got a brake. You're not going to die. Then you've got a bicycle, which is going a little bit faster, and then a motorcycle, which is actually powered and going much faster, and then a car, you finally get it. But you're happy all the way along. That's how you should think about your minimal viable product. Make a small group of people ridiculously happy with the smallest product possible. Stop just saying MVP and think about what it actually means and create the smallest possible product. And I guarantee you, again, if you focus on that set of customers who have a very small set of customers, it's easy to have a small product. Easier to have a small product. Uber. Anyone heard of Uber? I won't ask that question. Here's what we think of Uber, right? This is the problem with tech case studies. You read it on TechCrunch, you hear about it, it sounds fantastic. You use the product, oh, this is great, Uber. Look, they've got taxis, they've got UberX, they've got hire cars. You can pitch with Uber. Wow, what a big company. What a big vision they must have had. Where did they start? Text us your address. And when you get there, here's their amazing map technology to put in your destination. Tell the driver your destination, and you'll be on your way. That was their first version, right? They didn't go, well, do you know what, we definitely need to be in every country at once and have UberX and pooling and like these 14 different feature sets. They absolutely did not do that. This is a busy night early on in Uber, in San Francisco only. It was actually a club for less than 50 people, and they could text it to a hire car person that would come. These guys, they took a photo of the map and they were like, 4 journeys. Wow, 4 journeys simultaneously in the early days. But it's a great example. One small set of customers in one city that's in a big market and make them ridiculously happy and grow from there. Is everybody getting the subtle message that I'm getting across here? Small set of customers in a big market, take one product and stay focused until they are ridiculously happy with you. Go global and be focused. I like repeating my messages. It also helps when you're pitching to me to repeat your messages over and over again. A recap, which I already just did, but I'm going to recap my recap. Smallest working product in front of the small segment that needs you a lot, and do that into a big market. Very, very strong chance of success. Go global and be focused. And here's what I want to do as an offer to people within SydStart, and this goes back to my goal here today. Please, I want entrepreneurs who are not global, not focused right now to email me, mick@muru-D.com. You have to email me your URL. If I click that URL, you need to be global and focused. Global and focused. If you're like, well, we're for absolutely everybody and that's how focused we are, you're out. If it's like, yeah, we're just going to get, Surrey Hills first and then we're going to, you're out. Global and focused. By 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, 9:01, you're dead to me. 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'm going to put together a blog post and I'm going to send out all those URLs to my network of 10,000 investors and entrepreneurs. Because this is how much I believe that this can make a massive difference to your businesses. Okay? Email me, URL, global and focused, by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'm going to put it on a blog and send it to 10,000 people. I guarantee you this will change your perspective and change your business dramatically. That's it from me. Be focused and go global and be focused in case you missed that subtle message on the way through. Keep saying yes to entrepreneurship, and thanks very much for coming to SydStart. Thank you.